Hello, my friends, and welcome to the Talking Cryptocurrency podcast. I'm your host, Jason Rigden. On this episode, we'll be talking to Liina Laas of Black Insurance. Black is a digital insurance company on the blockchain. They're trying to fundamentally change the way insurance works. But before we get to the interview, I've got a quick message. Hello, if you like this episode and you want to hear more like it, please make sure you subscribe to the podcast. That way you'll get every single episode. The Talking Cryptocurrency podcast is available on all podcast clients. You can subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Pocket Cast, Stitcher, Spotify, or wherever else you listen to podcasts. And if podcasts aren't your thing, I publish video versions of these interviews on YouTube and DTube, so you can subscribe there too. All the links to all that stuff is going to be in the show notes. So please, if you want to hear more of this show, subscribe. Hello, and on this episode, I'm here with Liina Laas from Black Insurance. How are you today?
I'm very well, thank you. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. So could you tell me a little bit about the problem you're trying to solve with this company?
Certainly. So the problem is kind of a personal story. So one of our founders, he has launched many insurance startups, one of which is a digital insurance broker that's currently selling 20% of the Estonian insurance market and has also expanded to the Baltics. So he saw that motor insurance wasn't fair for the customer and he wanted to start selling his own product. Now, for a broker to be able to do that, they need underwriting, normally from an insurance company. So there needs to be capital in place in case a catastrophic event and you need to pay out all of the premium. So he went around Europe seeking for underwriting from all of these insurance companies, and they were telling him yes. But after 2 years, nothing really happened. So he thought, well, okay, maybe I don't know enough about insurance. And so he gave up. However, he started a software company about 5 years ago that's selling insurance software for insurance brokers. And all of these brokers started coming back to him with the same story. They want to sell a specific product, but cannot get the underwriting or the process takes too long. So that's the problem in insurance today. Insurance companies move very slowly. There's a lot of bureaucracy and the customer doesn't really get the cover that they need. So, for example, if you're renting out your home as Airbnb, you're not covered by your insurance. So the problems that we are solving is the time to market and also the costs from insurance companies, which today are about 20% of all the gross written premiums.
So how are you solving this problem?
We are solving this, of course, with a secret sauce called blockchain. Now, blockchain, it isn't really a thing that, you sprinkle it on something and everything is solved. However, this is why I love blockchain and I got in the industry about 6 years ago. That, you can do things much faster and with a high level of automation. So you take this stupid work away from people, and people, I believe, are meant for better things. I mean, if people spend their time on filling in spreadsheets, copy and pasting endlessly, rather than everyone looking at the same one document or a platform with the data, that would make everything more efficient. And I don't think that people should be scared of losing their jobs if they are the ones who are, copy and pasting the data into the spreadsheet, because people are way too talented to spend their time on these meaningless tasks. So we are creating a platform that connects insurance brokers to investors and also insurance syndicates. So the syndicate in the middle is essentially like a fund. They raise the capital from investors and then they decide to which broker they allocate the capital. And we keep the costs down by a very high level of automation. We do that through smart contracts. So simpler claims like, let's say, where there's a very low risk of fraud can be completely automated, rather than how it's done today. So claim comes in, person one checks it, person two checks it, so on. And then, the 10 million emails later, a customer gets a payout. So it's just using the technology to do what we're already doing today in insurance, but to do it faster and cheaper.
So the blockchain is being used for the storage of the information and some of the execution?
Yes. So storage of the information, of course, and also these automating some of the transactions where we can, and also the fundraising part. So essentially, every syndicate will create their own little ICO. They will be selling security tokens that will be backed by the insurance capital. So essentially, investors are going to be investing into these tokenized assets, which will pay them out dividends. So there's a lot of moving parts, but it's essentially creating this big ecosystem for insurance.
And are you building this on an existing blockchain, or are you building your own?
We are going to use a stack of blockchains because there's a lot going on the platform, so there's no one size fits all. However, we believe that we don't need to build our own blockchain for that. There are people who focus specifically on building the best blockchains. So if it's not our core business, then, go to someone who's an expert on it. So we will be using a combination of public and private blockchains. Some of it will be on Hyperledger Fabric, and we're looking at, we're just now putting together the stack of blockchains. We're looking at EOS, NEM, Quantum, and potentially it will need to be a combination of many of these.
Okay. And how have the regulators treated you?
The regulators, well, what we need to do is we need to acquire insurance licenses to be able to provide this underwriting for brokers. On the ICO and token sale part, we are good. We are in close contact with the Estonian regulation, the finance inspection, and we are going to comply with Regulation D in the US. But yeah, the insurance licenses, that's a different story. We would need to apply and adhere to all the regulations in all the different markets that we are applying for.
So what have been some of the biggest challenges of developing this product?
Development-wise, as I already mentioned, there's a lot, there's a lot going on there. So how do we achieve this highest level of automation without things starting to break? And also, what we want to do is bring an element of governance in there. So let's say our token holders could have a say in some of the things on the platform, and also to use this to clear disputes between different parties. So let's say an insurance broker and the syndicate get into some sort of a disagreement. Before it goes to legal proceedings, we will try and help them solve this on the platform. So that will take some mapping out, but we are very very good with that. We have Professor Alex Norta working on it, and that area really excites him. He's going to write a good white paper for us on that.
And are you doing pretty much any kind of insurance, or is this, I think you said it before, talking about some automotive insurance, but are you doing larger insurance policies too, like for businesses?
Yes, well, this depends on the type of licenses we acquire. And on the other side, it's up to the insurance broker which type of product they want to sell. So essentially, they list the product on our platform. We do the initial vetting to make sure that something crazy doesn't get on the platform, and the broker is licensed where they need to be, and that they have enough that they have enough experience. Then it goes to a marketplace where the insurance syndicates can choose, look at different products, look at all their forecasts and all of that, and then make a decision on where they want to allocate the capital. Now, on the other side, we have the investors. They will be looking at different syndicates, seeing what their experience is, what type of products they allocate the capital to, and so on. So it's kind of these parties are checking each other. Investor will see whether a syndicate is credible for them to put their money with them, and the syndicate will make sure that the broker is credible and will not sell the insurance at a too low price, which will then eat into the capital.
And is there a way of filtering out the people to become syndicates, or who can become a syndicate?
Yes, great question. Of course, we will need to do some due diligence and KYC, of course. And syndicates normally, let's say how they operate on Lloyd's of London, there will be a group of educated and who really know the area of insurance. They normally come in with their own money as well. So they have skin in the game, which makes sure that they need their syndicate to be as profitable as possible. So that's one area. And of course, yes, we will need to do due diligence on them as well.
So what are your plans for the future? I see there's an ICO coming up soon, I believe.
Yes, there is. We are currently doing our private pre-sale. We're talking to larger investors and also potential partners, for example, insurance brokers. The public ICO will be launched on the 1st of October. And then, depending on the amount that we raise, we have some different milestones on where we go. If we do only reach the soft cap, then we can still start operating, and we will do it through a reinsurance company, and we're already in talks with them. If we get the full hard cap, this means that we can expand to Europe, Asia, and US and start looking at insuring Africa as well.
And do you have a working prototype right now, or is it still in heavy development?
We do actually have recently uploaded it to our website, so you can test it out. The address is black.insure/prototype. So you can play around with the different user roles, what a broker does on the platform, what a syndicate does, and what an investor does.
I think we've covered quite a bit about the insurance market. Is there anything that maybe I missed that I should have asked you?
Good question. Insurance is hardly a sexy industry. It's something that people, who cares about insurance? And that's our point, that no one should care about insurance. We believe that insurance is something that a customer pays for in case something goes wrong. And they shouldn't have to be constantly hassled by all sorts of things. Something goes wrong, then you need to go and follow up with your broker or your insurance company. You need to keep hassling them for you to get your money back. And things are just so slow. There's no need. And this industry is very profitable. And we need to start giving back to the customers who are actually making this money for us. Well,
it sounds like a very interesting idea. I see a lot of people going into the insurance market as far as the blockchain stuff, but you are the first one that really has like a real business plan.
Thank you. Always great to have. Yes, we have put a lot of hours into this, and we know that the business side is what the real value comes from. Because, the innovation in the insurance industry is quite slow. There are some tweaks done to it, but overall nothing has really changed for decades. And we believe that it is time to shake this up a bit. So like Bitcoin said, we will get rid of banks. We are saying that we don't really necessarily need the insurance companies. Brokers know how to sell the insurance, and what they need is the capital.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. I'll make sure I get all the links to your websites and the pre-sale ICO stuff. It'll be all in the show notes. So thanks again for coming on the show.
And thank you for having me. Had a great time.
Thanks, Liina, for coming on the show. If you want to learn more about Black Insurance, check out the show notes. I've got all the links right there. You've been listening to the Talking Cryptocurrency podcast. My name is Jason Rigden, and I've been your host. Thanks for listening to the show. If you liked it, would you please consider giving us a rating and review on iTunes? I look forward to talking to you again soon. Have a great day.